Hour of Kenya's biggest conversation, and the conversations continue this morning. Here we are, and thank you so much for our audiences joining us all over the country and indeed around the world. Keep it here for more of that. Our live streams are up on YouTube and Facebook. Good morning, everybody. Karibuni sana. This hour we have a conversation with county government, and we're looking at devolution. We're looking at state affairs. We're looking at economic policy and where we are this morning. Deputy Governor for the county of Machakos, Francis Mwangangi, is our guest and seated in the hot seat this morning. DG, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Trying.
Oh my, you have to think about that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Can we say Happy New Year at the very least?
Happy New Year at least.
Happy New Year at least.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Let me give you a little bit of good news, even as good things happening. Dennis will tell us a little bit about what's happening with the Tuajiri Foundation and what the foundation has been doing before we get into things. Is that all right?
Yeah. Now let's talk about youth unemployment in the country, that being a problem that already exists now. We realize that overall unemployment in Kenya is at 12.7%, with majority of these being 15 to 34 years, the youth pretty much. And 1 million young people enter into the job market every year, that is annually, without skills, some having either dropped out of school or completed school and not enrolled in any college. Now, KCB sees this as a problem and wants to offer solutions. What are they doing now? KCB established the Tuajiri program in 2016 to empower and equip unemployed youth out of school in the informal sector to start and grow micro enterprises. Now, KCB Tuajiri says that they are training key sectors with the highest job creation potential, including construction, manufacturing. I know you love these, and beauty, makeup, and whatnot. That they are doing it very, very well. And ICT, sustainable agriculture and climate change. And they're saying these, to be able to get this information, kcbgroup.com/foundation.
I'll just leave you where you are, but we've understood what it is. You say.
Dennis, surely.
Yeah.
DG, as you know, we go around the country, or rather the continent, every week. CT rather travels. Don't ask us how he does that time travel, but he does. And every week comes with a new proverb from a different African country. This week, he is in a country that you might have some information about. So, CT, will you welcome DG with a...
Yes, I will, but I'll give you my hint. This particular country has many, many things that is unique about it. And one of those things is that it is the 7th most populous country in Africa. But look, it's January, it's the 8th. We have the DG here. So let me give him another hint. Mm-hmm. The first African woman to win a Nobel Peace Prize also comes from this country. Mm-hmm. Which country is it?
Is it Liberia?
You know, we're going to take you to Liberia. So that you can be a citizen there. Okay, let me give you another hint. It is famous for its long and middle distance running champions on the planet. It's an African country.
This must be Ethiopia.
Hey.
He's actually not wrong.
Not wrong. With that clue that you've given, is actually not wrong.
He's not wrong at all, because Ethiopia is known for this. All right. Now, final hint. It is bordered by South Sudan to the northwest, Ethiopia to the north, Somalia to the east.
Tanzania.
We must have you here in the studio again. I like the DG. This man is going to be my best friend. This man is clearly an East African, because he has done an East African thing. The country we are referring to is the Republic of Kenya. Yes, but you're right. Some of these things that I've mentioned are true of the countries that you pointed out. So you're not wrong. You're actually not wrong. But the country is Kenya. Okay? Now the proverb is in Kiswahili. Chema chajiuza, kibaya chajitembeza. Now, tell us what you think this proverb means, and maybe tell us a little bit about how you think this proverb can be applied to everyday life.
You need not to belabor much when doing the right thing. And if you are doing the wrong thing and you know sincerely you are doing the wrong thing, definitely you will do everything trying to justify yourself, jumping up and down, those kind of things.
Man, you put it so very well. Thank you. I will not add to it. You have explained it well and you have put it beautifully. Thank you. Yes.
Very good. I mean, I think it makes sense and it speaks for itself, but also even as we get into conversations for this hour and looking at some of the things, the many conversations that are happening around the country and the many, thoughts, all can be summed up in some of these things that we want to discuss this morning. When we look at state affairs, when we look at devolution, when we look at the economy, all of these mirror conversations that are happening. Whether we talk about, the state of, the economy, whether we talk about education, health, we talk about abductions, we talk about disappearances, we talk about the responsibility of the police and the president and the executive. An overview from your point of view as a deputy governor in a county in the country at the moment, what would you say is the state of things when we talk about the state of affairs? That's a heavy sigh, DG.
I hope it comes with relief, though.
No, sometimes you are told to think before you speak. State of affairs. We have a leadership that, in my view, might not be well listening to the people they lead. That's my first assumption. Number two is out of that we have seen maybe the leadership being on one side, the citizen on the other, and that has led to a lot of misunderstanding. Something that I think can be corrected if there is more listening, more communication, and everything we do, we put our citizens at the center of it. Now, the state of affairs is such that we have economic hardship in the country, and this is affecting literally everybody, rich, old, young, middle-aged, everybody. But I think we need a conversation around that so that at least we understand as a country why we are doing what we are doing. So I think generally that is my... And when you see some of the things that are happening, it is only that they are not reported. But I know this what our security agencies call petty crimes. They are on increase. That is something I'm sure even our National Police Service can confirm, because these are things they handle on a daily basis. Why? It means the economic hardship that is eating everybody is also increasing poverty. When the rate of inequality is increasing, you expect some of these things to happen. So, a state of affairs is such that we need more conversation because I'm not really sure some of the measures we take as a leadership, we are in the same page with the citizens. Meaning we need more to engage.
Why is that? Why is it that there is leadership, which is clearly in the minority in terms of numbers, is not able to do that which is mandated by the supreme law, being the Constitution, and expected by Kenyans? Why is that not happening? I'm really curious as to why that doesn't happen.
There's this fellow called Lord Acton. He once told us power tends to corrupt. and absolute power tends to corrupt absolutely. When you hear sentiments from our national leadership, these are people who are concerned about the power, not the people they lead. In the law, the last time I checked, there is something called public engagement, public participation, public input. To ensure any decision you make, you engage the citizens. Many decisions that are taken, if they are taken to the public, just is for the purpose of compliance, not to consider those inputs. And that's where the challenge is. And when you hear some people saying youths are abducting themselves, it's laughable. When you hear people say that certain people are not in the office, they know them, they are organizing these abductions, and yet they are people in the power, and they are doing nothing about it. It's still, once again, laughable. So that form of national despair is what is causing some of these things. And I'm sure even the high taxation regime is affecting the country greatly. You have talked about the state of the economy of the country. When there is no country on earth that I know of that has been developed as a result of a high taxation regime. And I think we should engage citizens more so that we understand, we appreciate whatever the decision the government is taking and undertaking, just for the purpose of satisfying the people they lead.
Would you say that the national government favors or is in support of the county system of government?
They are trying to comply with the constitution. But the current Kenya Kwanza regime, I think they are more concerned of centralism. I will say why. As a theorist and a practitioner now of devolution, the law requires that you use the last audited accounts to apportion monies to counties, which should be at least 15%. Who determines the last audited accounts?
Auditor General.
The national government. How does the national government base their budgeting process? Current. Is that not unfair? Unfairness in the first instance? Number two, the little that comes, most of the time comes after 4 or 5 months.
You're saying there's a 4 or 5 months delay?
Yes.
So essentially,
Yes.
if you receive money in January, that is money that is supposed to have been given in October.
Yes, and that is not enough. You are expected as a county governor to pay salaries, to ensure healthcare system is working, including salaries of the doctors and the healthcare workers.
Because health is devolved.
Yes, you are expected to ensure there is a availability of agricultural extension
Workers,
officers,
yes.
Agricultural inputs. I've seen this as an attempt to kill devolution in Kenya, in a direct way of killing devolution in Kenya. When you see a foreigner being brought all the way from India, and he is connected to well-connected personalities whom we know too well, people who are taken to court for economic crimes, like the famous clinics, are people leading healthcare reforms in Kenya. And then you hear just one single contract of 104 billion of just acquiring a system that ideally at international market cannot go beyond 400 million. you wonder, what kind of life is this? Just one. And we are happy as a country bringing somebody out there to come and do some of these things for us just to make quick money. Yet health is devolved. Health is devolved. I know Kenya is a unitary state. I know Kenya is not practicing federalism. But a function that is devolved, we need to respect the mandate given by the Constitution to counties and the mandate given to national government by the same Constitution. It means, literally, I've seen of late that the national government is doing literally everything that is supposed to be done by the counties. Literally everything.
Okay.
When you see the line ministries that whose functions are supposed to have gone to counties today, they have a very bigger budget than the money going to counties. You can name water, you can name even roads, you can name even agriculture.
Even health.
Health. So these are supposed to be, in my view, specialized departments in the national government which should aid the president in making policies in line with that which they promised the people of Kenya and ensuring the counties implement these policies.
DG, allow me to ask that when these things are happening, they don't happen under the cover of night. They happen in broad daylight.
Yes.
When devolution is not working, as has been complained about by many a county boss and their deputies, such as yourself, we don't hear the noise. We don't hear the objection. State House invited governors last year, late into the year, and said, okay, fine. Those things that have not been devolved, we will now give you full access. Yes. We will now fund you and give you the resources that you need to allow devolution now show up. And there was thunderous applause. Everybody was very happy. Everybody went back to their counties like nothing had even happened. But while devolution was not being fully practiced and fully functional, we did not hear the noise. Why?
And I think DG, as just a follow-up on that as well, and here's the question where these functions that ought to be with the counties, it is not a request. It is the Constitution that dictates what has been transferred or not. I mean, why does the Council of Governors have to go sit down with the President to agree that this needs to be transferred? Yet the Constitution says, take it.
Yes, you are very right. I'll tell you, I will add on something. Since the last election, I don't know, we have sat several times. Sometimes meetings chaired by the head of state, sometimes meetings headed by the deputy president. And we have been getting all these promises, but nothing comes forth. So it is their responsibility to transfer the functions and the resources, but they don't. If Odu has asked a very good question, why the governors are not talking, why we are not talking about it. I'll tell you one thing. If when a young person says we need policies that are going to ensure I get employed when I finish my education, if a youth says there is corruption in this country, there is tribalism, and within the course of the day, that youth disappears, what makes you think anybody else will take that risk? When you have an administration that is too intolerant. So sometimes you are promised, and a promise, you just wait until it happens. Sometimes if it doesn't, you just sit and wait.
No, but county bosses are accountable to the citizens of their county.
Yeah.
They are accountable. So here we are saying it's almost as though the executive is doing the counties a favor. And it's not. It's constitutionally bound to do certain things. So from where I sit, it looks as though there must be a demand on certain things. And so it doesn't appear as though, because how it did appear is that the president is now doing the counties a favor by saying, okay, let's send you the resources and let's really devolve these things. But it's constitutionally mandated. And so for county bosses to say, okay, well, we'll just wait until it can be done. I see as though there should be a level of demand when it says no. The reason why we are here as 47 counties with our county bosses, with our deputies, is because the Constitution required. The Constitution mandates that be. The Constitution has put up a decision that was made by experts who came together and said, this is the way in which it ought to run to ensure that development reaches every corner of the country. But now when we say that rollout is vested in when the president decides, okay, today is a good day to say, let's really devolve this thing, and the county bosses are not demanding, then in my opinion, that's a failure on that part. How do we say, no, you're not doing us a favor. There's a supreme law which we're all bound by that says this must be done.
You're right, but they have done so many communications. They have demanded during the tenure of the immediate former chair of Council of Governors, Anne Waiguru. She did it more than 10 times on behalf of the governors. Even the current deputy president immediately came to power less than a month ago. He had a meeting, and there was a degree that this will be done within the shortest time possible. We are still waiting. We are still waiting. So those promises are ever there, and we wait. But I can, as I sit here, I can literally say, today, I've seen, I have example, I can name. The national government today is doing literally almost everything that the county is supposed to be doing.
DG, I hear you speak from a very sad position, if you ask me. It's as if you're saying that the county and devolved units seem to be so powerless, yet you have been given the power by the Constitution. We also understand that the governors themselves are surrounded by another institution that goes to speak on your behalf, the Council of Governors, with a chair and all the other bodies that are there. How then do you convince us that you cannot do anything to claim your position, yet the Constitution gives you the power?
There is what the law says, and there is the practicability of the same. And we find ourselves in a scenario where the new Inspector General of Police finds himself. Yes, he is there leading, but he literally doesn't even know what is happening down there. So I will tell you, the two levels of government are supposed to be working collaboratively, respecting one another, respecting and observing the law. But currently that is not the case. We have stated our case. We have said what is devolved is supposed to go to counties. And again, there is also another promise, and I can tell you the seat is very hot. We were here. I will remind Kenyans something that all of us know too well. Many of Kenyans did not agree with the manner in which the last government of President Uhuru Kenyatta treated the deputy president then. And I remember the current president called media. That was broadcasted everywhere across the country and beyond. And he said, the way I've been treated, I will never allow anybody else to be treated as such. Okay? Where is Gachagua today? I'll give you another example. The two leading political organizations in this country, or other coalitions, all of them had a policy touching on devolution. It is in our programs that we promised Kenyans that once we are in the office, KK administration promised 30 to 35% of the total revenue of this country will go to devolution.
Yes.
We, on the other side, we were saying 40 to 45% will go to devolution. Where is that today?
So all of you, the 30% on this side, the 40 to 40%, 45% on this side, everybody failed on that.
No. We could not implement ours because we did not win national government.
Oh, had you won national government? What you're saying
our
is that
promise
40 to
was
45%.
between 40 to 45%.
We're going to go to a break in a short while, but I want to understand what exactly would have made that happen.
It takes the goodwill of the national government. The same way President Kibaki, way back in 2002, promised Kenyans, once you elect me, I will implement free primary education. And we started the journey to free secondary education. It is the same thing. The same way that was implemented. It is the same way we should now be implementing devolution in Kenya, because according to me, and I'm not speaking this as a deputy governor.
Yes,
I can now speak as a researcher and as a professional in that space. That if we implement devolution properly in this country, I am sure we are going to faster transform this country, and it will be a country that anybody in the world will be in a position to point and say, truly, there is something good happening in Kenya.
In Kenya.
Yes.
Francis Mwangangi is the Deputy Governor of Machakos County. He's our guest this hour. We're looking at the state of affairs in the country at the moment and asking ourselves, okay, so which way Kenya, essentially, and which way devolution? That conversation continues. Let me remind you that the first ever of its kind annual study abroad conference is taking place at the Gallant Mall in Parklands on the 18th of January, and at the Eka Hotel in Eldoret on the 27th of January. It's Africa's largest study abroad platform, and it uses cutting-edge technology and its expert student counselors to help students search, match, and apply to over 600 universities in study destinations in different parts of the world. That's Cradle. And this conference is happening to bring top experts from Cradle and international universities from across the world. It's packed with the most knowledge you will ever get in one place at one time. Register www.cradle.com or call 0799 000 444 and get your way to the education around the world that you need.
When I have back pain, I reach for 2 tablets of Panadol Extra. It's boosted by caffeine for fast relief of strong pain, like headache, toothache, and muscle pain. And I am finally released from pain and ready to be there for those who need me. Try Panadol Extra for fast and effective relief from strong pain.
Bring out all the fun, all the chaos, and all the sports, local and international, with the greatest of all true sports friends. The GOATs, Carol Radu, Kieni Givinji, and the great Roy Karuhise make their return on the playground every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Spice FM 94.4.
Hey, why are you lying? I want to be president.
Exactly. Every Saturday from 2 p.m. on Spice FM 94.4 on the playground.
Radula tried to run away from God. They owned her.
It's all the fun and games na yote katikati.
Nini umeniwekea? Ni supu. Alexander, unataka kunimaliza?
Kama ametoroka, hii ni kitu kidogo. Tuna report polisi, si uko na ulichukua ID photocopy.
Ya nani?
Ya hii mtu ulikuwa umeajiri.
Haya, si lakini niko na picha yake kwa ajili.
I am not a woman. Ni nini tena Nyabuto? Ni nini unakasirika?
Ondoka.
Hakuna.
Watu wanamea ndevu kwa hiyo.
Hello and welcome to Health and Wellness, where we explore new health trends, wellness tips.
In the mental space, we never ask what is wrong. We always ask what happened.
We feel the pain of our patients.
And ways to just embrace a happier and healthier life. Small changes can make a very big difference to your overall health.
For this intervention, we don't use any general anesthesia.
Oh, really?
So the patient is awake with us, talking to us throughout the procedure.
If you start having chest pain and you're sweating a lot and you're not doing any physical activity, that's a very ominous sign that you're actually having a heart attack.
To be honest, we've actually done a CS with Muleka Muizi. You're being Mulekwad for you to remove that baby.
So let's incorporate these tips to our daily routine just to ensure our immune system is healthy and strong.
Join me, Zaitun Ali, every Sunday at 6 p.m. on Health and Wellness.
Need the services.
What I've seen many governors do is they go for commercial loans, overdrafts.
From banks?
From banks, to ensure they pay the workers. Services, healthcare, agriculture, water are highly affected. That's a fact. Going forward is many Kenyans will get dissatisfied with many county bosses. We will waste time, push. You are voted out. We bring others, and the dance continues. So I think it is for Kenyans to decide to elect credible leaders, both at county and national level, so that anything you say, you are sure. Just the same way the late third president of the Republic of Kenya said, I will bring free primary education. And he did when he came to the office. The same way others should also follow the same. Please, anything you promise Kenyans at county level, at national level, please do.
Okay, so you talk about leaders, credible ones. You're one of them. Do you think that there are credible and accountable leaders in Kenya today?
They are. It is only that they are not given opportunity.
Should they be given the opportunity or must they take it?
There are those who are about to take it. And there are those who have been appointed to some of those positions, and they act at the whim and the directives of the appointing authority. So they have very little they can do, despite the good intentions, the good plans that they have to offer. Yes.
And DG, when you talk about the credible leaders that you're talking about, all that would go hand in hand with the proverb of the day, chema cha jiuza kizuri cha jitembeza. And that goes to show that we would be able to point out on them. And as City has also asked you, it is a question of how do you survive? And even the government has said, perhaps even the Treasury Cabinet Secretary said, perhaps it's about time that the counties as well started focusing on on-source revenue. And on-source revenue is the monies that the counties collect from the taxes that you collect from your residents. How is this spent? Because as well, there is talk that that is misappropriated. So as we sit here pushing the government to release all the functions to go to the county, release all the funds to go to the county, but there is talk, there is allegations of misappropriation of funds that is being collected by the counties. What will be your response to that?
Simple. That is somebody running. Well, anybody who has that kind of notion or allegation is somebody who is running away from his or her responsibility. Simply. We have investigative organizations in this country, paid for, maintained by taxpayers. They need to do their work. If Mwangangi here is looting resources that are supposed to go to Machakos County people, let him be held to account.
Okay.
It is as simple as that. Recover that money and take it back to the people of Machakos.
Even if it's the thought, if it's a suggestion, there's a whiff, there's an idea that something is happening, what you're saying is that even if there's an idea, you must be held accountable.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. What simply I'm saying, anybody who is saying any county boss, whether deputy governor, whether minister or a governor, is mismanaging, is committing an economic crime. We have organizations like EACC, we have DCI, we have the prosecuting body, Director of Public Prosecutions. Where are they? Why are we letting politicians to just paint simply because they want to run away from their responsibility of giving very little monies to counties? Then they turn around, they say you are not managing well your own source revenue, or you are not collecting enough. That is an excuse. Do your bit. Allow other organizations to freely execute their mandate. Because these are organizations that are there to do.
I have to hold you
now.
I'm sorry, DJ, but I have to ask you something based on that.
Yes.
A few minutes ago, you said that we were waiting for somebody to give us the okay for the resources for devolution.
Yes.
This is the same somebody, I would assume, that you're now waiting for to hold folks accountable if there's even a suggestion of impropriety when it comes to the spend of resources. Do you really think that's going to happen? You're waiting for the same person or the same people or the same entity who did not ensure that devolution has been properly implemented in the country as it comes to resources and as it becomes to releasing control of centrality from the national government. Do you really believe that this same institution is going to say, okay, Mwangangi, there was 1 million, now there's 500,000, let me hold you accountable?
There is something, thank you for that very good question. What I'm saying simply is the way devolution works. This, what we are calling on-source revenue, we collect and it goes to central bank. It is a process for us to even get it in the first place. Okay? It's not like we collect and bank it in an account and then we go whenever we want to withdraw it and use. No, that is not how it works. It comes back to the same national government. Then from there, there are processes to get it back. But simply, let me talk about this on-source revenue. Every Kenyan today is talking about high cost of living as a result of high taxation by the national government. Do you want now again county governors to also tax the same people? We had another burden on these suffering people so that we can get enough on-source revenue so that we can develop our counties. Is that what we are saying?
I like what you said when you said it doesn't work that way. Let me add and say it actually doesn't work that way.
Yes.
One, how many counties, this is a rhetorical question, I'm not directing it to you, but I will direct a question to you, actually tell their citizens that their projected or their anticipated on-source revenue is this amount, so that when they collect, we know how far they have to go to reach what was targeted, how far they have surpassed the target, and how it is they go about it, and how efficient the system is. Because collection is not just a matter of we have taxes, we have levies, and so we collect. There are all these things that come into play. Now, if I were to ask a direct question to you and ask, what would you say is the anticipated or the potential revenue that Machakos County can actually collect in a year? You would know the figure. Potential. And I would also ask, how realistic is this potential that you speak of? Because for it to be potential, you must say it's going to come from this. Then I'll ask that secondary question of the mechanism by which you're collecting it, how efficient is it? Why I ask this question is because if whatever levies, whatever taxes the county has remains as it is, and there's a genuinely efficient system of collecting, literally every county would collect, not might, would collect more than they actually collect. Am I speaking a falsehood, or am I speaking something that is true?
True, yes, and also there's a challenge on that assumption to many counties, or literally almost half. There are counties that cannot sustain themselves unless they are supported by this revenue from national government.
I'm not talking about sustaining.
So,
I'm not talking about sustaining themselves. I haven't gotten there yet.
Yes.
I wasn't even going there yet. I'm simply saying ensuring that you collect what you can collect well, and so that you collect all of it. Let me put this across to you. Yes. When in the days when we had what you call the system of municipalities, okay, local authorities.
Yes.
Researches that were done at that particular time found that of all the collections that were made, only a third of what was collected actually ended up with a third. I am yet to be convinced that that has changed with the county governments. That whatever is collected, it's not that it's not collected, but whether it gets to where it's supposed to go is a completely different question. So when you say they can't sustain themselves, are we saying that these loopholes that exist and are known to exist because research has been done and has been found to be so, if these are sealed and it is collected, would the counties not have more money that they're actually collecting than they're collecting now? That is the question I'm asking. Okay. Not can they sustain themselves?
Allow me, I answer that question with the current state in Machakos. If you come to Machakos today, we don't handle cash. When the governor of Machakos came in, she found over 213 pay bills.
How many?
213.
Pay bills?
Yes. They were collapsed. All of them.
They were pay bills for the county?
Yes.
Ostensibly?
Yes.
Okay.
They were collapsed to two.
Two?
Yes. Okay. One to handle healthcare and another one for the rest of the county. That I've seen the revenue continue increasing literally every month. Since then. So if you come to Machakos and I'm there as a revenue officer and I'm asking you for money, cash, hard cash, then that is a different thing altogether. So we are trying, and partly I agree with you. Counties are not collecting what ideally they should.
Why?
Capacity.
Not enough people? Not enough in terms of a platform?
It is a good word, capacity. It's very all-encompassing.
Such as what? Please, I would like to expand on that a little bit, because we use it sometimes as a blanket statement and say because you don't have the capacity. What? In terms of human resource? In terms of technical support framework? Why wouldn't a county whose first and majority charge goes towards salaries, for example?
Maybe there is something I want to bring to listeners and viewers, that as a technocrat, there is something I've realized from these counties. You know, city has talked about local authorities that were there. You know, counties inherited these local authorities. There were staff that were there then. Then when governors came, they also employed the staff.
Yes.
And also national government to start devolution of the seconded staff. Now, many county governments have not taken steps to collapse these three types of staff to one and efficiently train them on what they need to do.
Why is that the case 15 years later?
Now, no, it is there. It is there. So, The case is there because it's the political entities. You come promising to do something. And again, it all depends on the person at the top. Personally, if I were in a position, probably at national level, what ideally should have happened is we should have come up with a program that will offer capacity building, will offer training, and at some stage offer golden handshake to anyone who wants to exit these counties. If, for example, I'm above 50 and I want to go and do other things, I'm given something that I cannot resist, so that these entities can be run professionally, not a dumping site for anybody wanting to work. That way, you will transform these counties and they change from the current state to centers of transformation.
Okay.
That will ensure the country grows from every corner. But I've not seen this happen. Yet, in practice, when you go, you interact with staff from many different counties, you find there are challenges. There are people of this, people of that, and others who are just there watching who even do not know. So that's why the counties are not, I'm trying to answer the question why the counties are not operating optimally.
DG, you've raised issues to do with let's say Machakos County not having the capacity to collect that which they ought to, which they should actually collect. This is a problem right there, which needs a solution. There is also the fact that we have 3 centers of staffing in the counties, which, according to you as well, there needs to be a solution towards that problem. As we speak right now, let's talk about Machakos County, because that is where you're from. What is the leadership in Machakos County doing in making sure that the resource that you do not have, you have the resource so that you can collect more? Second of all, with this issue of staffing, the solutions that you are offering, where are you with that?
2 very good questions. One, what the governor and the county government there are doing is, I've talked of collapsing very many pay bills, for one. So we have embraced technology and we are seeing fruits. That's one. On what we are doing to ensure these 3 groupings are brought as one and we have one government, we are providing capacity building and also sensitizing staff that this is your county, this is your government, this is your people you are serving. So we need to act as one. But as a county, we are lacking financial muscle to bring the program I said of maybe offering things like golden handshake to anyone who wants to exit. And I'm sure if that program was introduced, so many of us will opt to exit. And in the process, you bring professionals who will run these entities properly.
By maintaining these 3 centers of staffing, isn't it in the long run expensive?
It is. Because first and foremost, we are not doing what we are supposed to do. 2, when you are competing among us to yourselves, you are seeing, you are not acting here as Spice FM. You are this, he is that, she is that. Definitely, you are not moving in the same direction. Okay, so there's a challenge with these generally with the devolution in this country.
The challenges are many, even 15 years down the line. But let me ask this question: do you think, even as you are now DG and you have a front row seat in matters of the county, that counties actually have a plan to work towards being self-sufficient, meaning, in the event that there was no government provision, or if the government provision existed, what would county governments do to use this money to ensure that they can actually survive on their own resources? The country you come from, is endowed with very many industries, is it not?
True.
Okay. Not many counties have that benefit. Is there a plan, a master plan to ensure an increase of the same because you have land? Is there a plan to ensure that all the things that could be possible because of what is existing, so that Machakos actually grows to become even bigger than Thika, bigger than even Nairobi?
Yeah.
Is there such a plan?
There is. The plan is there. I can state so many of them, but I will state 3. We have a Department of Trade that towards the end of last year, under the leadership of the county governor, Wavnyadeti, held an international investors conference. Out of it, we have seen so many people rush to that county to invest. We also have the 2 cities that are upcoming. One is Konza Techno City, although it is national government, but based in Machakos. And we have also the city that was started by the former administration, and we are carrying on with it. We have seen so many people come in and invest in that particular the city. We also have let me add the 4th one. The 4th one is now the existing businesses. We have every quarter the Department of Trade through the minister, they consult the business community within Machakos on what can the county government do to ensure their businesses grow. Because if they grow, they will employ more. We will get more revenue to do some of these things. Even the national government will get more. So the governor there is doing a lot with the administration on that front. The only thing we are saying, and it is a challenge across the country, is a high taxation regime by the national government, because we are losing to neighboring countries. It is a fact.
And that is something that needs to be done. I mean, I think there are very many things that need to be done. And, sadly, time doesn't allow us to go into all of that.
And by the way, thank you for that question. The question he has asked about the industries there. Machakos is only county in this country that has the biggest eastern central industrial area with so many companies in the same area.
It would be interesting to see what they actually produce, and it would be interesting to see what the numbers look like, and perhaps that's why we should have another conversation of this nature in the near future. But for today, we want to say thank you very much, Francis Mwangangi, the Deputy Governor of Machakos County, for being here this morning. The conversations continue. It's 9 a.m.